In this video, you're gonna get a summary of the book Grit. It's a phenomenal book on what does it take to be successful. What separates the most successful people in the world with the ones who struggle for most of their life. Let me show you the core ideas from the book, and then let's talk about how you can implement them in your life. Let's do it.
If you're talented, you'll be successful. If you have a high IQ, you'll be successful. We've all heard all these statements and most probably still believe them. Our society is obsessed with talent and IQ. There's always been a bias toward them. But the reality is a bit different. Of course, talent and IQ do play a significant role in your success, but there is another factor that drives your rate of success even more: grit. Actor Will Smith is the perfect example of grit. In a now famous interview, he shared a bit of his gritty mindset. He said, "I've never seen myself as more talented than others, but the thing which is good about me is my work ethic. That's what makes me different. You can be smarter, you can be more talented, you can be better looking than me, but if we go to run on a treadmill with me, two things will happen. Either you'll lose or I'll die running on that treadmill." Now that's grit. Let's see how this whole idea around grit got started. As a psychologist, the author has made it her professional and even her personal mission to determine what does it actually take to become successful in any field. She conducted numerous studies and interviews with top corporate salespeople, successful sports players, elite military training graduates to find out what makes them successful. And what she found out was truly amazing and eye-opening. There were two major factors that contribute to an individual's success. The first one is in fact talent, but the second one is effort. But now here's the important part. Where talent counts once, effort counted twice in their success journey. The author came up with a simple formula that replicates the ideology of the most successful people in the world. It goes like this: talent multiplied by effort equals skill. Skill multiplied by effort equals achievement. As you can see, where talent counts once, effort counted twice. To understand this simple formula, the author gives the example of Bill and Hillary Clinton. Bill Clinton is naturally good at politics. The way he talks, the way he holds himself all portray that he has an inborn talent for politics and public speaking. Hillary, on the other hand, does not seem naturally gifted. She has to work hard and put in more effort to match her husband's level. Of course, she's also somewhat talented as a politician, but what she lacks in talent, she compensated with grit. On one side you have grit, on the other side you have talent. According to the author, it is grit, the power of passion and perseverance, that contributes to a lifelong achievement and not just inborn talent or high IQ. And sure, there are some limitations. You cannot become Einstein or Mozart with extreme practice of passion and perseverance, and some people will find that as an excuse for not even trying hard. But you can become the best lawyer, the best teacher, the best salesperson, the best athlete, the best whatever you want to be, and you can achieve great things in your life by putting in more effort, even if you're not a genius, quote unquote. Remembering the talent, effort, success formula, you can be sure that one day you will achieve your desired goals and your success if you put in the work. Now that you know the vital role that grit plays in your life, let's dig into how to take advantage of it. Developing and increasing grit is somewhat simple, but not easy. Being greedy comes with practice and you face a lot of challenges along the way. But the author says that we all have the ability to overcome all those hurdles and become a greater person. She says, grit is not a sprint, but rather a marathon, where you're consistently putting in more effort every second to become a winner. To change our grit, we have to direct our focus to four major characteristics. First one is interest. Charles Darwin never had a very sharp brain, a high IQ, or superhuman intelligence, but he transformed the way we understand the natural world. All he had was an obsessive interest and the fascination and curiosity to continuously ask questions. He had a very keen interest. So, finding fascinating questions that pique your interest and look out for those answers. This will help you stay greedy and achieve something great. The second characteristic is practice and improvement. The famous Olympic swimmer Rowdy Gaines once said that, "I won because whenever I practice, I used to think of defeating myself. My ultimate goal was to become better every day." The author explains that you need to develop a mindset of whatever it takes, I want to improve and make that a habit. But how do you do that? Through deliberate practice. A practice that is purposeful and systematic. One that requires focused attention and is conducted with a specific goal of improving performance. You want to be a better chef? Dedicate time to deliberate practice for all the skills needed. You want to be a better speaker? A deliberate practice that improves your vocal abilities or stage presence or presentation is what you need. The third characteristic the author wants us to focus on to grow our grit is purpose. Deliberate practice and interest are good, but not enough to be successful. If you don't believe that your work matters and contributes to society, it's hard to find real success. The author conducted a study with more than 16,000 Americans to find out what's the big contributor to grit. Feeling of pleasure or feeling of purpose. And she found that people with a greater sense of purpose have a natural tendency to improve and scale their grit when compared to the feeling of pleasure. A higher level of purpose results in a higher level of grit. The author says the grittier person finds the purpose or greater meaning of his work, which has the capacity to raise the level of his grit. The last way to scale and grow your grit is to develop what is known as a growth mindset. According to Carol Dweck, who originally coined the growth set term, our learning ability isn't fixed and we can change it through intense efforts. When people challenge and train the brain through efforts and practice, they're more likely to show perseverance even after many failures. Failure isn't a permanent thing and it can be changed by developing the growth mindset. Bill McNabb, a former CEO of Vanguard, which is the world's largest mutual fund provider, conducted a study by interviewing the top leaders in his organization to find out the difference between those who are successful and those who are sorta kinda mediocre. And what he found that developing a growth mindset was the core factor to long-term success. Those who believed that they have the power to improve things and overcome setbacks were the ones who became extremely successful. Simply put, one needs a bit of hope. If a failure stops you dead in your tracks and you feel and your belief is that's it is hard to be successful. On the flip side, a bit of hope that there is a way out or around this current mess will go a long way. To sum it all up, becoming grittier is a life skill that can be developed by mixing continuous effort, deliberate practice with growth mindset and a strong set of purpose. Now, let's see how you can put all this grit knowledge to practice for yourself.
Hey, welcome back. So that was the book Grit. As you can see, a phenomenal book. But how can you do it for yourself? How can you build your own grit? Is there an online course that you can take that can just give you all that? No, it takes a little bit of practice, and here's how I suggest you go about it. Pick an area of your life, whether that's personal, professional, does not matter. You know your life best that you want to improve, and dedicate a portion of your time every single day to getting better at it. So you want to be a better chef? Between 8 to 9 every day, or whatever the time is, between 8 and 9 every single morning, you're going to practice your chef skills, or you're going to practice making a video, or you're going to write your 5 pages, whatever it might be. Here's how it goes. The first few days, you're super excited. You're showing up 8 and 9, you're just knocking it out, you're motivated, you're excited, you're changing yourself. But this is how it works out. Eventually, the excitement wears off. Day 15, maybe it's day 30 for you, it does not matter. Eventually the excitement is gonna wear off, and this is where the grit kicks in. By showing up every single day, by doing the practice, you're teaching yourself that you are the person who has grit. You're building the habit of just showing up. No matter how tired you are, no matter what happened the day before or the day of, you're going to show up. And some days are gonna absolutely suck. But you're teaching yourself that I am the person who shows up. I'm the person who has grit. And not only that, but you're also getting better at your skill. If you're practicing every day a specific skill, you're eventually gonna get better. Because you hear so many people, oh, I want to be a writer, but my writing sucks. Well, show me the 200 pieces of blogs that you did that suck. You want to be a video like a YouTuber, but your videos suck. Well, show me the 50 ones that you did that suck. Nobody can do that because people just stop themselves on their own with some BS excuse. That's how the opposite of grit is. If you want to be gritty, if you want to succeed in life, you gotta push through and you gotta teach yourself that this is a habit. Just by showing up every single day, you get better, but you also teach yourself grit. every day, dedicated practice, no matter what. You're gonna practice your skill for 35, maybe 15 minutes if you can just spare it. 15 minutes does not have to be, 3 hours. Spend 15, 30 minutes ideally every single day building your skill and teaching yourself grit. It is not easy, but it's absolutely worthwhile. And if you want more videos such as this one, reviewing some of the best books in productivity, in self-help, and personal finance, click on the subscribe button, join the family. There's a new video coming out each and every week. Until then, go build your grit, have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.